Wow, 250 subscribers, a quarter of 1,000. Thanks so much for subscribing, guys. And as per this special occasion, I'm going to give you guys my list of my top 10 favorite movies. Now, keep in mind that I have not seen every movie out there. I have still not seen classics like The Godfather Part 2, Citizen Kane, The Shawshank Redemption, Mac and Me, Lawrence of Arabia, the list goes on. But just because I haven't seen those films doesn't mean there aren't plenty of films that are worthy of such praise. And as with all my lists, this is all just personal opinion. There is no objective way to prove what are the best movies. It's all subjective. These are the top 10 movies that I feel like are the best that I've seen. So without any further ado, here they are. Inception. Christopher Nolan is my all-time favorite director. I have yet to see a film of his that I didn't love. And even his worst movie, Interstellar, even though I still really fucking hate that ending, I thought was great. And one of his biggest crowning achievements was Inception, a sci-fi action film about going into dreams, within dreams, within dreams, to plant an idea inside of someone's mind. The scale of this film is enormous. The visual effects are some of the best I've ever seen in my life. It's very strange and mind-trippy, and this features some of the best exposition ever put on screen. The way the characters explain the dream world and how it works is very clever and really fun to watch. And Hans Zimmer's score is also amazing. This guy knows how to build tension, and this isn't even the only film he did the music for that's on this list. Inception is a brilliant action film with stunning visuals and a screenplay that's just as stunning. The Truman Show. When I was a kid, I loved Jim Carrey as an actor. He was the perfect man-child any kid would want to be. But when I saw The Truman Show for the first time, I didn't like it that much. I thought it wasn't goofy enough. Jim Carrey didn't act like himself. Why did Jim Carrey do a serious movie like this? But the more I grew older, the more I watched this movie, I started realizing that there was more to this Jim Carrey movie that was too serious than I gave it credit for. The Truman Show is not only a genius film, but one that was ahead of its time. Shortly after this film came out, the early 2000s was just full of these really stupid reality shows about people's lives. John and Kate plus 8, 18 Kids and Counting, Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, and so on. These shows are utterly pointless. Some shows like Tanked are understandable because they focus on the business and the way they operate, but reality shows that focus on people's lives, their personal lives, is just uncomfortable for me to watch. I don't care about your lives. Why are you exploiting that? The Truman Show takes this idea in a funny yet dark way, where Truman was adopted by a television corporation and they fabricate his life as a hidden camera reality show with him not even knowing it. Again, it's kind of funny imagining how far this company will go just to get ratings, but at the same time, it's pretty disturbing seeing as how we weren't that far off in the early 2000s. With something like 18 Kids and Counting and Honey Boo Boo, these younger kids basically did live like Truman Burbank. They may not have been locked up in a big-ass studio, but their private lives, or what should be their private lives, are still shown to a huge audience and everybody just accepts it. The Truman Show may have been a brilliant film in of itself, but its themes were a lot more real than we may have previously thought. The Lion King. If you want to see an epic, The Lion King is one of the best out there. This film is gigantic. The Circle of Life scene is the single greatest scene in any animated film. The music in The Lion King is once again composed by Hans Zimmer, and it might actually be the greatest music in any film. It's huge, it's intense, it's fun, it's incredible. People always question my optimism for remakes. They always say, oh, you don't know what it's like to have one of your favorite movies being remade. But it is. The Lion King remake is coming out next year, and I couldn't be more excited. This might actually be my most anticipated film ever. The Lion King is that powerful and epic of a story. I love it so much, and I cannot wait to see this story told again. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Jim Carrey makes another appearance on this list, and in my opinion, Eternal Sunshine is his best work. This movie is about a man named Joel Barish, who sees that his ex-girlfriend, played by Kate Winslet, doesn't remember him. He gets a letter that says that she erased him from her memory after a brain procedure was performed on her. He decides to do the same thing, but starts to realize that this was probably a bad idea. I've never seen any film like this before. I've never seen this plot done before. It's very clever in concept, but once you see it in execution, it takes in a whole new level of amazing. Jim Carrey gives a performance that should have been nominated for an Oscar. He plays Joel very quietly, and what I mean by that is that he acts more real than we've ever seen him before. Little bits of movement that keep his performance subtle, yet impactful. Kate Winslet is amazing in this too, and she did get an Oscar nomination for this. She bounces back and forth between different areas of their lives very smoothly. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is a fantastic science fiction dramedy, and has a great message about the importance of memories, good and bad. Pan's Labyrinth. Guillermo del Toro is a director who, to me, ranges from okay to brilliant. But luckily, Pan's Labyrinth is nothing short of brilliant. This film is dripping with atmosphere. The production design, cinematography, makeup, and special effects are all some of the best I've ever seen. Never once does anything in this film feel like it was built or manufactured. Everything feels alive in Pan's Labyrinth. And the funny thing is, I don't exactly know what hidden meanings are in this movie. There clearly are, but the film is quite literally a puzzle you have to solve. Whatever the hidden meanings are in Pan's Labyrinth, I always come closer to finding out what they are every time I watch it. The Shining. I know there are some people out there who will say, the book was way better. The movie isn't accurate to the book. Look, opinions are opinions, but if the miniseries is truly closer to the book...
Danny! Hi, Doc.
Then maybe it's best that the movie took these liberties. While The Shining isn't necessarily scary, it does make me feel uneasy, almost claustrophobic. Jack Nicholson gives one of the best performances of all time. He comes across as intimidating yet funny at the same time. Hell, in many scenes, he acts like he's in a sitcom. But I mean that in the best way possible. The lightheartedness of his delivery makes him come across as very unhinged and crazy. The Shining is almost hypnotic with its pacing. I'm always glued to the screen, mesmerized by the dialogue, which is some of the best in any film. To put it simply, I think The Shining is the greatest horror film ever made, and it deserves its cult status. The Tigger Movie. As of this video, my review of this film is the most viewed film review on my channel. I hope more people talk about the Tigger Movie because I think it's an overlooked masterpiece. The story seems pretty simple. Tigger realizes he has no family and tries to find them. But when I see the dilemma he goes through beforehand, I see a character who doesn't know his place in the world. He likes bouncing, but no one else does. And when he sees this, he starts to realize how alone he truly feels. And we've all had that feeling. The feeling that there's nobody around who can truly understand the things you like. And I feel like the Tigger Movie handles that beautifully. Some people say that this goes against Tigger's character, but I have to really disagree. He's still the energetic show-off he's always been, but the film takes that characteristic and puts it in a scenario that challenges that frame of mind. It's funny, heartfelt, sad, intense, and all around kind-hearted. The Tigger Movie is a film perfect for any growing child. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I am not kidding. Dead serious. I think Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is one of the greatest films ever made. Willy Wonka is a fascinating character in this film. A lot of people say that he's better as a mysterious figure who you don't really know much about, and while I think it worked for the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka, I feel like it's very welcomed in this film. After all, they gotta do something different in the remake. I even thought Johnny Depp's performance was great. It might be very different from Gene Wilder, but Johnny Depp manages to make it his own. I still, to this day, find it hard to believe that this is the same actor who played Whitey Bulger in Black Mass. I mean, seriously, if an actor can literally make me forget I'm watching that actor, they're doing something right. This movie is also breathtaking to look at. The production designing just might be the best I've ever seen in any film, and it is a crime it wasn't nominated for an Oscar, and won. Never once does any of the factory feel like a set. It honestly feels like something that could exist in this really weird world. It's even shot really well, like Jesus Christ. And Danny Elfman's music is just amazing. It feels upbeat, crazy, trippy, you name it. It's a blast to listen to. I never got the hate. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I think, is a brilliant kids film with hilarious dark comedy, but still manages to keep that sweet taste. The Dark Knight. Yeah, everyone's praised the hell out of this film, and I still praise it as well. Heath Ledger, brilliant. Everyone else in the cast, brilliant. The action, brilliant. Christopher Nolan's writing and directing, brilliant. The Dark Knight still to this day is the platinum standard for comic book movies. It manages to take the comic book elements out of it and deliver a crime thriller with fascinating characters who seem almost too real for fiction and challenging the themes of insanity. The movie also tackles themes of morality, questioning who has the moral high ground. One of my favorite scenes are still the scenes on the barges. The choices the passengers make say a lot about what kind of people they really are. You can check out my review for better context. It may be a cliche to say, but I can't lie. The Dark Knight is simply Christopher Nolan's greatest achievement, and one of the greatest achievements in film in general. Jurassic Park. The mere title sends chills up my spine. It's intense, it's hilarious, it's fascinating, it's heartfelt, it's everything great about film. The visual effects still hold up to this day, and ironically, the worst Jurassic Park film, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, is the only film in the franchise to have better effects than the original. Unlike Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic Park has characters that leap off of the screen. The characters make decisions that have a logical reasoning behind them and even avoid stupid stereotypes you'd normally see in a movie like this. The rich guy isn't a money-hungry villain. The woman isn't a damsel in distress. The geek is a cool ladies' man. The lead hero uses his brain rather than brawn, and the kids are actually likable. Every character in this movie feels fleshed out and realistic. The music is also some of the best ever composed. What John Williams did to this music is awe-inspiring. It knows exactly when to just let you breathe and experience the wonder of the dinosaurs, and it knows exactly when you should be afraid of them. And yeah, I thought Fallen Kingdom was crap, but you know what? Fuck it. Make a million of these movies, I don't care. I'm not gonna start any dumb boycotts, and you know why? Because I still have the original Jurassic Park. It's perfect the way it is, and nothing can change that. We'll still get garbage, yeah, and I'll still likely end up seeing it. But as long as the film that I've cherished ever since I was a child still exists and I can still watch it, then what do I have to lose? Thank you guys so much for 250 subscribers. It really does mean a lot that you've stuck around, and here's hoping we can reach 1,000. And as always, give this video a like, share the video so we can get the channel circulated, don't forget to support my Patreon on my Patreon page, or if you can't do that, then see if you can donate any small amount to my PayPal donation button. And if you want to see more, click this.